Hello everybody! So I moved my winter sowing jugs from over there to back here because it gets more sun back here and that's what they need. So super quick update. It's been I think 11 days. So let's see what we got. All right everybody, so the sun is right here and the clouds obviously. But this spot gets a little bit more sun. See over there, it's pretty shady there right now. So let's check it out. So the pansies, they are, oh, let's see if I can focus in here. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Here we go, the pansies are in here. That little brown ball is actually a little slingshot pellet that my kids put in there. Awesome, thanks guys. So there's the pansies. This is the yarrow from Florette. It's doing so well. This is the kale coming up right here. You can see kind of off to the right there. Boop, right down in there. There's some more starting to sprout. Those are looking good. Here's the lettuce and more pellets from the slingshot. Label came off of this one, so do a better job than I did. Nobody home in there. This is jug number 10. I'll have to go look and see what 10 is. Nobody home yet in the snapdragons. Ooh, Johnny jump ups. Look how nice they're doing. This is just the seed starting mix. So nobody's home in this one yet, but you can see the seeds off to the side up there on the right. They're starting to get a little fuzzy, like something's happening. Oh, hello kitty. Coming to join us? Here is the cabbage. You can see that guy's starting to get a little fuzzy. And the spinach. It's weird because that one looks kind of chubby and the one over to the side looks a little stretched out. I don't know what's happening there. More pansies. More yarrow. I'm so excited about this yarrow. Still nothing in the coneflowers, which I don't know if I'm concerned about it because they say coneflowers need like 30 days of cold to start germinating, so we'll see. I'm just gonna keep them in the sun and see what happens. Here's the beets. These were not sprouted yesterday. This is just happening. Cool. Here's the lavender. Nothing happening so far. You can see the little pelletized blue guy. He's still in his little shell. So nobody home yet. These guys are doing super good. I have no idea what these are because my label washed off. Like I said, do better than I did. But I think they're tomatoes because that looks like kind of a tomato seed to me. So I know what the other tomatoes are. So, and those are written on the numbers. So I should be able to kind of figure out which tomatoes these are at some point. And here's the last one. This will be cool. Let's see. Oh, there is something sprouting. I don't know what those are. That's all I see so far. Yeah, not too much going on in here. It seems like, I'm gonna give it more time obviously, but it seems like the jugs are definitely having a little bit more action than this. Let's head inside and look at what's going on in there. Before we go in, I'm hardening these off. So there's my snapdragons. I pinched them the other day, and there's so many videos on pinching, and God, it kills me every time I have to pinch them because they were so tall and beautiful and looked like they were just, you know, having their best life, and I went in and chopped their little heads off. But you can see I pinched right there, which you can even pinch further down. They say to pinch above their first real big girl leaves. So here's their little baby leaves. And then here's their big girl leaves, and you can technically pinch right here, and that will send out shoots just like these two here. See, on either side I pinched there and there, so now these guys are growing up. But what you could do is get some rooting hormone, and if I were to pinch this right here, boop, pop his little head off, he would send out new shoots on either side. You can take this piece dip it in some rooting hormone, and just set it in the dirt, and it should go. And I think that makes the pinching process a little bit more palatable, because anybody who's ever grown anything from seeds knows that they're like, oh my gosh, these are my babies. How can I just chop their little heads off when they look like they're doing so well? But honestly, it makes them bigger, stronger plants. You have to remember you're doing something good for yourself and your plants. So look at this guy. See? Boom, boom, new growth. So that means this stalk is going to be super strong, super happy. Same thing here. You got to pinch them, even if you don't want to, guys. I'm telling you. When I did this like a week ago, oh, I was heartbroken. But they look so happy now. And there's my coneflowers back here. Oh, and I took them out of their cells. I didn't even say that. So they were in 72 seed tray cells, and they were getting kind of to the point where they needed some more space. So I just took the watering tray underneath, took the cell out of the top, and just planted them back in here with potting soil. So now they have a little bit of fertilizer in here to keep them going, and there's some more room for their roots to go. These guys especially, their roots were like crazy, just like wrapping around the little seed cell. So they've been out here for a couple hours, and I've been kind of doing this every day where I let them sit out for about an hour on the deck, out of the sun. I mean, there's probably a little too much sun here for them right now. But keep them in the shade because the sun can burn them. There we go. And the wind can blow on them. They haven't had a lot of time to be outside because it's been crazy rainy weather, and it's going to be probably tomorrow, but today is perfect. So anything above like 50 degrees, you can set them out, harden them off, and just keep doing this over the next week, and get them to the point where they can start to be outside. These guys I'm not concerned about at all. They seem like really stout, but my baby snapdragons I worry about. But look at my big girl snapdragons. Look at these, are crazy. These have wintered over for the last 4 years. They just keep going. And I remember I told you I pulled one of the little guys out and put them in here. Look at, we had freezing weather the other day, and he's just hanging on, living his life. It doesn't seem like it wants to grow really high up right now though, because I think the cold weather maybe kind of stunted the growth, but I'm sure it will take off here. But you can see the size difference. And I mean, these weren't really that big to begin with, but you can see, like, obviously those are way more grown than those. And same thing here. I put this little baby in here, and this little baby seems to be doing fine, but not a whole lot of extra growth being put on. So yeah, that's where those guys are at now. Okay, and this is where I've been keeping my seeds. So I recently just got some Potomac Early Orange. Those are snapdragons. And some Powwow Wildberry, which are more Echinacea coneflowers, and Potomac Apple Blossom. And that's what I have newly planted out in the jugs in the back. This is an onion. It wanted to live, so I'm giving it a home. So I've got most of my seeds here in these bags. And what I just planted in the back are straw flowers from Floret. Let's go take a look at them. So here in the laundry room where we have the grow light, I've been growing those straw flowers, and I just planted them in little old containers. I got some hyacinth the other day, buck for hyacinth. I planted them in the front and just kept their little containers. I rinsed them out good. I've got the potting soil from here down and the seed starting mix from here up. I put just, I think 4 or 5 in each of them. I've got little plastic bags over the top, tied them up with rubber bands and hair ties. And they're just kicking it under the light while the snapdragons and the coneflowers are hardening off outside. So I only have the one light, and the snapdragons and the coneflowers have been just fine. I've been putting them next to each other underneath the light. Now, I'm sure that there's someone out there going, oh my gosh, that is not enough light, but I've been rotating them around and they seem to be doing just fine. So I'm gonna keep them under there and just ride it out until I harden them off. So I'm hoping that these start to sprout in a couple days. As soon as they do, I'm gonna take their little covers off and just keep them in between. I'll put the snapdragon tray on this side, coneflower tray on the other side, and just let them be. I really like to decorate with flowers, obviously. I've been buying myself flowers to decorate with. So I cannot wait until I'm able to grow my own. And check this guy out. I just got him from Costco the other day. This was only $19. Can you believe that? So I've been putting him outside. I actually think that for some reason, like, this needs to be hardened off as well, because I put him out there and their leaves kind of like shrivel down, like he's so sad, and it gets cold. Then I bring him back in and he chippers right back up. So I'm gonna keep doing that too. I'm just gonna set him out on the porch until it seems like those leaves aren't doing that. But I have the worst luck with hydrangeas, which is terrible because this was my wedding flower. And so I'm trying really, really hard to grow them. I've got the other two that I got the other day, which I actually made little cages for. Let me go show you the cages. Also, by the way, look at this. My creeping Jenny is starting to blossom and starting to get little leaves on here. Ooh, super cool. I'm excited for that. Oh, also, see that little guy and that little guy and that little guy? It all came from Mama plants. So I've been going underneath and just like plucking them out. So they've been there for about a week and they seem super happy. I'm moving dirt in there, doing all sorts of fun things. So I'm gonna plant that up at some point. That's gonna be a whole nother thing. But check it out. Those chicky ladies were coming down here and trying to eat my hydrangeas. So I made them little cages so nobody can bug them. And I also have diatomaceous earth to give to the chickens, like in their water and stuff. It keeps worms away, and I sprinkled it all around here because I don't want slugs getting in there. And more, boop, boop, more little plants. Speaking of chickens, chicky lady, what are you doing? Look how pretty the hyacinth are, except for the branch that fell in here from the windstorm the other day. That's an allium back there hiding. This is a big snowball hydrangea. This was here when we moved in, so I haven't been able to kill it. But look at this area before. See how big and bushy that was? Oh my gosh, it was just taking over. We thought it was so beautiful though, so I told my husband, you cannot chop it down. But it was definitely a mess back here, so happy we turned it around. Girls, what are you up to? You coming to get some water? Is that what you're doing? All right. You're just coming to hang out. Just don't mess with my hyacinths. Come on, ladies, come up the hill. What the? Thanks for nothing. Jeez. All the single ladies, all the single ladies. The garden still looks the same because we haven't been able to get out here. I've been throwing some mealworms up here so the chickens till this stuff up so that I can start planting my flowers. But let's go look at the bulbs in the front. Look at these. These are tulips and alliums and more hyacinth and whatever the yellow things are called. And this is what it looked like when we first moved in, just big red rock boulders and just dirt right up to the house. So we made that downspout river there and took out some of those bushes, and this is kind of what we're left with now. And more of the grasses, which I pulled from Mama Grass. So this is gonna be super cool when they come up. I've got astilbes and things like that and some salvia in between that should grow up in between them, so yeah. Spring has sprung for sure. Look at this fun thing that I made. It's just a little box and I stamped it and I put some moss in it and it's in the bathroom, so hopefully it will grow. And it's just something green to be in the house. I love this little thing. Look at that. Oh, so cute. Isn't that cute? Gives me a little color for inside. And then my jugs out my window so I can see them first thing when I wake up. So that's the spring tour. I'm so excited for them to actually be in the ground. Come on, girls. Anyways, thanks. We'll see you guys soon.